Yo, what's up, Broncos country? How's it going today, guys? I wanted to get on here and make this video for day 11 of Broncos training camp. And for the fourth straight day, I was out there and, got to watch and actually had a blast. I'm going to go through everything that happened today and some other news that came out today. So let's get into it. So today, was day 11 of the Broncos training camp. Of course, everybody knows by now that we have the first preseason game this Sunday against the Colts in Indianapolis. And I, for one, am excited about that. This is going to be a chance we finally get to see Bo Nix and all these young rookies compete and play in the preseason and live game action and see how they do. And I'm super excited for it. But let's get into this. So today, while I was there, I was down by the field, and as I was watching training camp, as I was watching practice today, uh, pretty much the first thing I seen of Bo Nix was him. They were pretty much doing skeleton drills inside the red zone, inside the 10-yard line, 5-yard line. They were doing skeleton drills. I think Bo Nix threw, I think, like, I want to say like maybe 10 times, and it was pretty much just Bo Nix, a receiver in a corner. And at first, the first 5 passes for Bo Nix were all completions. He hit Cortland Sutton, he hit Troy Franklin, he hit Marvin Mims. I think Lil Jordan Humphrey was another one, but he went 5 for 5 for 5 TDs in that first, period. Like I said, it was skeleton pretty much. But and then after that, he had a few more after that. I think he had like 2 more. So he had 7 total touchdowns, but a lot of them were getting, after the first 5, a lot of them started getting broke up, a lot of PBUs. And this is where I was actually, really happy to see because Damari Mathis was making plays there. So was Abrams Drain. They were, knocking down balls and all this and that. And it was really encouraging and really excited to see from those 2 young guys and seeing Bo Nix go 5 for 5 for his first 5 passes that were touchdowns. I think he hit like Michael Bandy, Lil Jordan Humphrey. I think he hit Philip Dorsett, Cortland Sutton on a couple. But it was nice. He hit Marvin Mims on one. And one of the ones with Cortland Sutton and the one with Marvin Mims, they pretty much were going up against Sertan, and they beat Sertan and was able to come down with the ball in the end zone, which was awesome to see. So moving on to the first team periods, Bo Nix, he had a nice little, crosser with Greg Dulcich over the middle. And then the very next play, I think after that, he ran for like 15, 20 yards, which was nice. And then Jared Stidham's turn was up. Like, this was 11 on 11s, the first team period. Jared Stidham and Zach Wilson both had 50-yard bombs for touchdowns. I think one was to Troy Franklin, and the other one, I want to say it was to Troy Franklin as well. So, they had a couple other nice passes throughout the day, but then second team periods came around, 11 on 11s. And I'm sure you guys probably already heard this because a lot of people have already talked about it, was Bo Nix had 3 really good passes. I think he threw 4 times and he had 3 really good passes. One was to Lil Jordan Humphreys on the sideline. Bo Nix rolls out of the pocket to the right, boom, hits Jordan Humphrey down the sideline for like a 15-yard gain. And now this is where some people got a little confused because some people said it was differently, but I didn't see it differently. I saw it like this. There was 2 plays that Bo Nix hit Cortland Sutton over the middle. And the first one, I think, was probably about 10 yards. The second one was about 20 yards. But each time that Cortland Sutton caught it, there was a guy there, but he was like an arm length away. Like Cortland Sutton would have broke away and probably scored a touchdown on those 2. They were about 10, 15 yards or 10 to 20 yards downfield. The defender, granted they weren't really trying to tackle today, but the defender was like an arm length away from Cortland Sutton. So I don't think he would have got, tackled him. And there was like no safety. The safety was off to the sideline, I think covering someone else. So Cortland Sutton on those 2 plays, if it was live game, I believe would have been touchdowns. So very promising from Bo Nix in there. And then, they worked on a lot of special team stuff today, but it was nice to see Bo Nix out there. To me, Bo Nix, like I said, I really don't care about the, winning the day or whatever, but what I care about is Bo Nix progressing and getting better and stacking days, which he stacked another day today. If you ask me, Bo Nix, he's the clear cut starter. Like over like the last, I say 5, maybe 6 days, Bo Nix has had multiple reps with the ones. I believe what was it? Saturday, and I believe it was also last Thursday was Jared Stidham's days with the ones. Bo Nix got reps with the ones Thursday and Saturday. So last Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and today, 5 days, in a row, Bo Nix has gotten snaps with the ones. Like to me, uh, that's just a clear indication that Bo Nix is the starter. Like if it was still truly like tied and it was, a true competition, and they were that close, I don't think they'd be giving starting snaps to Bo Nix on Jared Stidham's day, personally. Like I didn't see that with, Bo Nix. When Bo Nix had his starting, his days with the ones, I didn't see Jared Stidham come in to run with the ones on Bo Nix's day. But I have seen Bo Nix run with the ones on Jared Stidham's day. So read into that what you will. Um, like I said, this to me signifies that Bo Nix is the starter unless he falls flat on his face in training camp or in this first preseason game. He's the week 1 starter. There is no ifs, ands, or buts. I mean, anybody can see it. And I like DNVR. They're a great podcast. I really like listening to them. They're very informative. But whenever they started their video today, because I watched it as soon as I got back from camp, they said, "Oh, could the competition still be open?" It's not open. This competition's been closed for. I mean, if you wanted to be gracious, this competition might have still been going by last Friday, maybe Saturday. But after Saturday, the competition was over. Like to me, it ended earlier than that. Once Thursday came and I saw Bo Nix in there on Thursday on Jared Sims' day with the ones, getting reps with the ones, Bo Nix, that to me signified it was over. That to me, because before that, he was kind of pulling away a little bit from Jared Stidham. Once Thursday came around and Jared Stidham had his turn with the ones, but then Bo Nix had reps with the ones that same day on Jared Stidham's day, to me, that signifies the competition's over. Sean Payton and everybody and you can see it too. Like it's not just one player, and they don't say the same things. There's multiple players coming out in favor of Bo Nix saying, yeah, he's doing this real well, he's doing that real well, this, that, and the other. And there was actually, if you guys watched the presser after practice today, Jaleel McLaughlin, who's only been in the league for a year, pretty much was saying like, yeah, Bo Nix was showing me pretty much how to run routes. He was telling me how to do it, where, when I should break, all this, that, and the other. This is a guy that's been in the NFL and been in the system for over a year. And he's out there saying that Bo Nix was showing him like, do it this way, do it that way, helping him develop too. This is Bo Nix, a rookie, telling a running back that's been in the system for a year and been in the NFL for a year, helping him to get better. That is a true leader, in my opinion. Like, you didn't see that stuff with Drew Lock. Even though I was a Drew Lock supporter, you didn't see that with Drew Lock. You didn't see that with Teddy Bridgewater. You didn't see it with Russell Wilson. You didn't see it with none of those guys. This is why I keep saying over and over again, don't let people fool you. Bo Nix is the starter. He's got the leadership aspect. He's helping young players, even though he's a rookie in himself. And he keeps stacking days. Like, a lot, even if Bo Nix was stacking days, every now and then, maybe a day here or a day there, Bo Nix is going to have a bad day. Bo Nix, ever since I'd say honestly, since like the fourth day of training camp, not this past Saturday, but the Saturday before that, ever since Bo Nix had that good game where he threw that first INT and then he had 3 touchdowns right after that. Ever since then, Bo Nix is progressively getting better and better. Monday he got better. Tuesday he got better. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, this past Saturday, and now today, he's slowly getting better. He hasn't had a bad day. Like this to me, and like I said, whenever you're out there, if you guys have been to training camp, please let me know. But if you're out there and you watch and you're listening, you hear Bo Nix checking in and out of plays. You hear him commanding the huddle, commanding the offense. He's out there, like check, check, check. He's seeing the blitzer coming. He's IDing him. He's like, okay, this guy's coming, pick him up. And everything's working smoothly for Bo Nix. He is your week 1 starter. The only way, and I've said this earlier last week, is that The only way Bo Nix doesn't become the starter at this point at week 1 is if, you know, he falls flat on his face. To me, the only things Bo Nix had to work on, he's got to continue working on it during the preseason here and the rest of training camp, is just timing and chemistry with his receivers and getting up to NFL speed. Honestly, I think the chemistry and timing is the only thing he's got left. I think he's up to NFL speed now. I really do. Granted, yes, it's practice, but if you guys have watched any of the videos on Twitter, if you guys been to training camp, you see Bo Nix. He's doing the checks at the line. He's making sure the blitzer gets picked up. He's IDing the blitzer. He's, checking out of plays like, oh, we're not going to run this. We're going to run this because I see this on the defense. And every single time it's worked out positively for him. And not just that, but even players. If you listen to players on the team, they're saying Bo Nix is getting the ball out of his hands like that. Like there's a couple of plays where, he'll drop back and he doesn't see his guy open. And then even Sean Payton said it yesterday. He's got that timer in his head. He's like, Bo Nix drops back, and whenever he knows it's time to go, he goes. And he does do that. And today was another clear-cut example of that. The play where he hit Jordan Humphrey on the sideline. He hiked the ball, which was kind of a wild snap. It was way out here. He was able to snag it in. He dropped back, and I think it was like, he was like 1, 2, and he went. Like whenever he couldn't find a receiver over, he got outside the pocket, found Jordan Humphrey breaking in, and hit him on the sideline. Like this kid is ready to go. There is absolutely no benefit for the Broncos to start Jarrett Stidham for the season. No benefit. Like I could see a benefit if Bo Nix is struggling. Like if he was struggling, with getting timing down with his receivers, getting the chemistry down with his receivers, he hasn't quite got the NFL speed yet. Or if he was having trouble with his checks, or getting the ball out, whatever that is. Like if he was struggling with any of that, even just one of them, if he was struggling with just one of those things, I can understand starting Stidham. But Bo Nix has proven he's not struggling in any of those aspects. He's not struggling with timing. Like I think, like I say, he still needs more time for timing with his receivers and chemistry with the receivers. That's not really a problem. That's just something you have to do when you go to a new team. That's the only thing left. But he's not struggling with accurate passes. He's not struggling with reading the defense. He's not struggling with picking up and identifying the blitzer and what defensive coverage the defense is in. He's not struggling with getting the ball out of his hands. He's not struggling with none of that. This is why I say, and it is clear as day, if you watch training camp and you know that kind of stuff, Bo Nix is ready to go. Jarrett Stidham offers you nothing to be the starter. Like, nothing. Yes, he had a nice pass today, and I'm not taking that away from Jarrett Stidham. I'm not taking the pass that Zach Wilson had either. Zach Wilson had a nice 50-yard bomb for a touchdown. I'm not taking none of that away from these guys. Nothing. But we already know what Zach Wilson is. He's proven in this entire week and a half, 2 weeks we've been in camp. He's not the guy. He's not. I don't even think he's going to be the number 2. And Jarrett Stidham, yes, he had that one good pass today, but most of the time he's a check down artist. He's going to take the safe play, the drag, the slant, the hit the running back in the flat. That's what he's going to do. And not saying that Stidham can't throw over the middle, but Bo Nix is doing something that we have not seen on this team in 2 years, which is the quarterback throwing over the middle, seeing over the middle and throwing over the middle. Bo Nix is going to be your week 1 starter. Plain and simple. There is nothing. The only person that can lose the starting job for Bo Nix at this point, the only way Bo Nix is going to lose this job is if he loses it himself in the preseason or in camp. And that's by falling flat on his face and being downright horrible. If that doesn't happen, then Sean Payton's not going to waste time. We had this conversation last year, or even leading up to the draft, where people were like, "Oh, we don't need to take Bo Nix. We don't need to be taking Bo Nix to pick 12 or in the first round. He's not worthy of that pick." And people were saying we need to play the slow game. Since we're going to be kind of rebuilding anyway, which is true. We are rebuilding. But as we saw this year with the draft, is that the Walton Penner Group and Sean Payton, they're not looking to make this a long process. They want to get this right now, and they want to win now. And like I said, with that kind of mentality, that's what the mentality is in Dove Valley. That is what the mentality is in the Broncos, organization. Because if they truly want to, wait, they could have very easily just roll with Jared Stidham and Zach Wilson this year, built their roster up, get through this dead cap with Russell Wilson, and then drafted their quarterback next year. Or just came out, or they could have still drafted Bo Nix in the first round, but they could have just sat him on the bench, like, no, Stidham's our starter week one, not even have a competition, just name, Stidham the starter right away, and be like, we're going to, let, Bo Nix sit on the bench for a year and let him learn, kind of like what Jordan Love did, and some of these other rookies, or even Patrick Mahomes for that instance. But the fact that they had him in this competition, and they didn't name Jared Stidham the starter right off the bat, and how well Bo Nix is doing, how he continues to stack days, how he continues to progress forward and looking good, and he's getting everything, and he's already up to that NFL speed. It makes zero logical sense to start, Jared Stidham at the beginning of the year. Bo Nix will be your starter. And I got money on this. Like, Bo Nix will be the starter come week one. Unless he falls on his face. Like, unless he starts playing terribly in training camp, unless he plays terrible in the preseason games, he will be your week one starter. Now, moving on to the next thing I want to talk about. Uwazurike was able to come back today. He was out there, I think he came back after he came back in about 5 minutes after practice started. But as most of you know, he got suspended for a whole year from the gambling thing that happened last year. But he was out there today. He's participating. Zach Allen was out there looking good, so Nick Benito was back out there, practicing, looking good. Brandon Jones, he's probably still going to be out for a few weeks. And Mike McGlinchey was out today, but there's no worry there. The only reason why Mike McGlinchey was out is because he had a child born today. So that's the reason why he wasn't there. If you, didn't watch the meeting with Sean Payton, that's what he said. Mike McGlinchey will be back tomorrow because he just had, his child today. Let's see what else. Caden Stearns, like, that's a big blow in my opinion. Like, that kind of sucks. I was really hoping for that guy. He was one of my favorite players. He got waived today. So a lot of stuff happened today, but yeah, defensive line, I say the offense had a better day today. Honestly, like, the offensive line was not letting pressure through. The quarterbacks had time in the pocket, to throw the ball, after a few seconds. Yeah, of course, no matter how good your offensive line is, eventually someone's going to get through. But yeah, the defense really didn't have a whole lot. They weren't in the backfield a lot today like they have been the last couple of days. So that was good to see the offensive line holding up. Luke Wattenberg and I believe Sam Mustipher still taking rotational snaps at center. And like I said, today, Drain to me is making his case, to be a starting corner on this team. Like, he looked good out there today. Abrams Drain did. And I even said to Mari Mathis, I didn't really see a whole lot from Riley Moss. There's been talks about him moving back to safety. Because sitting right now with the release of Caden Stearns, you got Brandon Jones, who will be back. You got PJ Locke. You got Skinner. You got Devontae Key. I think Omar Brown was another one. So I think the Broncos are happy with their young, safeties back there. So, but they're talking about Riley Moss moving back there, which I don't know. Maybe they just feel like he's a better suit at safety. Maybe he's just not doing good at corner. But I think that's why Abrams Drain was maybe getting more snaps today. And he actually looked good. Like, I would like to see Abrams Drain big cornerback too. Young kid, opposite of Surtain. He's fast. If he continues to improve in the, training camp, and if he plays in the preseason game, which I'm sure he will, and if he improves in that and he looks good, I can see him being cornerback too. What else? Greg Dulcich still out there looking fantastic. He's just running, all over the place. He's all over, the field. He's fast. So it's nice to see. The running backs have been looking good. There was one play I saw today where they did a run play. I think it was in 7-on-7s or 11-on-11s. I can't remember. Jaleel found a hole, bursted through it, and just completely obliterated everybody in his path. Like, not by like running them over, but he just sped away from everybody. He was gone. So that was nice to see. So, but all in all, good day of practice. Some people are going to say that Jared Stidham won the day just because of that big. I mean, he had a couple other underneath decent, like 15, 20-yard passes down the field. But the reason why I think some people are saying Jarrett Stidham, won the day was because of the deep 50-yard bomb to Troy Franklin. Like, cool. I mean, I'm not taking nothing away from Stidham. That was a nice play. But in my opinion, on that play, I think it was a blown coverage. Either that or the DB slip. Because Troy Franklin, whenever people say he was open, he wasn't just open. There was nobody within 10 yards of him. So I think either it was a blown coverage by the defense or, the DB that was supposed to be covering him slipped and fell, which, once again, you can't, punish Jarrett Stidham for that. He saw the wide open receiver and he threw it, which is nice. But I'm not going to sit here because if that were Bo Nix or Zach Wilson, even Zach Wilson had a big play, today, but his guy didn't fall down. The DB didn't fall down or blown coverage, whatever. But when you're a quarterback, a starting caliber quarterback in the NFL, whenever you should be able to see that. When you see a DB fall or a blown coverage on the defense, you should be able to find that wide open receiver. No questions asked. That's not something special. The throw was nice, don't get me wrong. But if Bo Nix were to do that, it'd be the same. I would say the same thing, yeah, good for him. He got the pass downfield. It was nice. It was a big, long 50-yard gain or pass for a touchdown, but it was a blown coverage. It was, either a blown coverage or the player just fell, whichever. So I'm not really too worried. Like I said, Bo Nix, as long as he continues to stack days and progresses forward, to me, he's going to win every day. To me, he's going to, be the starter week one. Like I said, he has to actually really falter. And I said this the other day. I'm like, for Jarrett Stidham at this point to become the, starting caliber quarterback or starting quarterback for us, Bo Nix is going to have to be downright terrible, and Jarrett Stidham is going to have to play like John Elway in order to catch up to him. And that's not going to happen. Like, over this last, week, Bo Nix has really separated himself from Jarrett Stidham. And I don't care what anybody says. I've been this past week, I've been out there 5 of 4, or in the past 7 days, I've been out there 5 days watching this. So to me, unless Bo Nix falls flat on his face and Jarrett Stidham starts playing like Elway, it's Bo Nix's job to lose. So please, guys, like, comment, subscribe on this video. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And tell your friends, your family to come over here and subscribe to this video. I'm trying to get more subscribers. Also, my other channel, Colorado Sports Connection, Sundays at 7 p.m. Mountain Time. We're live every week at that time on Sundays. And this Sunday is going to be really a blast because we actually have Broncos football this Sunday. So we'll have a lot to break down Sunday night. So once again, please like, comment, subscribe on this channel. Tell your friends and your family, and leave a comment down below. And please, let me know what your thoughts are about training camp so far and Bo Nix and everything else. So I will talk to you guys later. Peace.